all the health benefits that I told you, and you're eliminating all the problems with the yellow light. But these things come in compact fluorescence, and they last for 5 to 7 years.
So basically,
they save you 80% of your electricity. If you figure an average bulb, full spectrum, compact fluorescent, over an incandescent bulb will save you anywhere up to $90 per bulb in 5 years. So it's worth the extra price to go in.
So really, we have to begin to think of light as health, light as healing, light as prevention, light as food for the body.
And light as it was originally intended, which is sunlight. So make your artificial lights as close to sunlight as you can possibly do. And that way you bring your sunlight indoors.
So we also have to think of light the way we do air. We have to think of light the way we do water.
Good water, good food, good light. And
most of us wouldn't think of light as being that relevant, other than the fact that we need it and we have to have it to see. But most of us don't really think about it that way.
No, and light is so critical. My house has full spectrum lights in every room. They're usually the screw-in compacts. I have some good floor lamps and desk lamps. But essentially, all the birds, the plants, all my dogs, my cats, we all have light here during the winter. And a rule of thumb is that your body needs 30 minutes of sunlight a day minimum, and ideally 2 hours a day. And while you might get that in the summer, you certainly don't get it in Seattle in the winter. And so how do I supplement that minimum 30 minutes a day? Well, if I have full spectrum lighting in and around my house, my body absorbs it like a sponge. And on the average, I'd say a good, bright, full spectrum lights, about 6 hours exposure per day is equal to about your 30-minute sunlight equivalent.
So, I mean, somebody has to be, in the house for 6 hours?
No. Well, hey, add up the day. Let's start at 8 o'clock, or 7 in the morning, or 6, depending when you get up. You're at home, you're in the bathroom, you're in the kitchen, and then you leave and you go to work. Now you're in light all day at work, and then you come home later, and now you're back in the light at night.
Some of us never leave, and some of us are always working. So now we're verklempt. We're on the air. We never stop working. We never leave the house except to walk outside at 12 o'clock now that we've changed our biological clocks.
I can just stand by and watch you deteriorate.
And I'm deteriorating, which is why I have you on this broadcast, because I have to reconstruct myself.
And, there's some interesting other side effects of this kind of light. John Ott showed that when you use cathode ray tubes, and that would be a fluorescent light, a desktop computer screen, or your TV screen. Now, I'm excluding laptops from this discussion, and I'm excluding flat panel TVs. But let's say the other big three, fluorescent light, computer screen, and TV screen. Now, John Ott shows that the soft X-rays coming out of those devices when they enter the body actually cause the red cells to clump. And when you clump red cells, you restrict oxygen flow, and after a bit, you get drowsy. He showed that being in front of one for 20 minutes will reduce the oxygen flow in the body. And he said, how do you solve that? Well, you get up once in a while and go out in the sun, and in about 30 seconds, the sun enters your eyes. Remember, sun comes 90% through the eyes. And it goes into the bloodstream and basically opens up the blood. So if you're going to be in an office or around a computer or TV, screw in a full-spectrum bulb in that room or have a lamp. And that will also go into your eyes and open up the blood and allow the oxygen to flow.
I have to clarify
logistics. This is really a defensive mechanism against the adverse effect of cathode ray tubes.
We have to clarify a logistical part of this. Now, some of us could be hearing you like, when we're not inside, when we go outside and look into the sun. Now, you don't mean look into the sun.
Period. Don't even have to look in the sun.
I don't have to look into the sun.
No. I'll tell you, when you walk outside of your building, from being in it, what'll happen
it's a great day when I get out of that building.
Your nerve endings on your body that have been exposed to the yellow light will all of a sudden relax, and it'll feel like you just got an instantaneous massage.
I hope I don't go to sleep on the street after walking outside. You're going to have me sunned to death.
And then, when the light enters your eyes, it opens up the blood and basically allows more oxygen. So you feel regenerated, you turn around, you go back into your building. So why don't you put full spectrum stuff in the building to help this process? And also, along this line, remember I was saying that when you sleep you produce melatonin, and then during the dark, and then when you get up, if you lived in Hawaii and you got up and you went out to your porch, the sunlight had come in and shut off the melatonin production and start the serotonin. But most of us don't have that. So what I really recommend for the average person is put a couple of bulbs in your bathroom, because that's the first light that hits most of us in the morning. And so if it's full spectrum, the light's going to shut down the melatonin right away. And
it's that
so
fast?
I call the bathroom the poor man's light box.
You mean it's that fast? Don't most people have fluorescent in their bathroom?
Sure. Put a full spectrum in there, bingo. You just take the bad fluorescent out, put a good fluorescent in, and you're there. And most of them have these little vanity lights that are incandescent. Take all those out, put a few full spectrum in. And one thing you'll notice about your environment, let's say you had a blue bathroom and you had yellow lighting. So when you all your life you're looking at this kind of a green tinge, which is the combination of yellow and blue. The minute you put in a full spectrum sunlight bulb in there, all of a sudden, your bathroom's blue again.
I'm going to feel like a plant by the way you're talking. I have a funky last name anyway. I've got problems with the last name. Go under greenhouse, under Google. Wait till you see what they start talking about. My whole reputation is just getting terrible. But seriously, so we have to change our bathrooms first?
If you were going to do lights, I'd say, number one, if you live in the northern hemisphere, you should put lights in your bathroom first. For everybody, you should get your lights around where you read. And then next, put them in your kitchens, because you spend a lot of time there. And then put them around your computer or TV room.
All right, so this is a major U-Haul operation.
You can do it one bulb at a time.
Okay.
One bulb, one tube at a time, as awareness. I'll tell you what, though, if you get one good reading light, and you get a desk lamp or a floor lamp, or you get a bulb, and you put one in and you start reading under it, you will never, ever want to read under a regular light again, and it will absolutely floor you. So.
Okay, now we've hit full spectrum. You've described the different types of lighting effects, the different types of lights, and how it impacts the body. You've shared with us that the sun has changed. Something about the sun has drastically changed. You've shared about the fact that we actually don't get enough UV, that the facts are completely 360 wrong about everything we've been told.
Yeah, we need more.
So now...
I don't want you to burn, though. You understand that. You just go out, get enough UV.
What's enough?
And don't... Enough is 30 minutes a day. And it doesn't even have to shine on you. Why? Because 98% of sunlight comes into the eye. So you can go and sit in the shade under a tree on a nice sunny day, and you're getting your light. Okay,
then afterward, do I put on the UV blocker?
No, you don't want to do that.
No?
Because, number one, if you have to put on a UV blocker...
And I'm pale.
You should have a shirt on instead. Because I have, and John Ott and a number of people have believed that the blockers will result in more problems to the skin than if you went without it. Now remember, I'm talking about the lifeguard, right? And
yes.
The construction worker.
Yes.
They don't put blocker on all the time. It's only us who are in offices that go out and put it on. And I believe that the game was to go back, as